Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
My enemies' walls are bound to crumble, and to the floor their spears will fall. I've been made and sealed with love, but time to battle, I'll fight them all. I felt the whips and remember chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name.
I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David turns Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them.
Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You are everything, Father. Thank you.
Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for I to fail. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of flesh. Send down your warriors with the hello, be carried down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this storm is coming, I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could there be that will decide? No weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them.
I am a man. I am a champion. I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on all of the various radio stations. Those of you who normally join us on all of the various radio stations. Those of you who are joining us on the live video. A very special good morning to you. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. And I say that because there's so much rain falling. And I love it. I love it when rain falls because we've had so much heat over the past few days. So it is, in no uncertain terms, a shower of blessings. All right. And of course, as promised this morning, we have a very special guest in studio, none other than Miss Carla Haywood. And she is hailing from the Grenada Development Bank. She's actually the Public Relations and External Relations Officer. All right. And she is going to share with us some very valuable information. You know that COVID has really done a number on us personally and financially as well. And she's here, we're here to answer your questions. So we are going to open the line. So get your questions ready. And of course, to engage in conversations surrounding how you can revive your business, how you can inject some funds into your small business, and what opportunities are available for the different sectors that have been drastically affected by COVID-19. So good morning, Miss Haywood. How are you?
Good morning. I am good, thank you.
Let me help you, because she gets very nervous when she comes here. So pull the mic closer to you. Don't worry. It's going to be fine.
Right?
All right. Let me see if we can hear you now.
Perfect?
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's been a while since you've been here. I think the last time you were here was before COVID.
Yes, way before COVID.
Way before COVID. So it really is a pleasure to have you. I know we have a lot to discuss as it relates to small business development. A lot of entrepreneurs have definitely been affected as a result of COVID-19. And of course, we want to make sure that the valuable information that they need to get their business up and running again, they definitely do have that information. So we want to share. So I don't know where you want to start this morning because there's so much information to give. So I'm not sure which area you want to start in. If you want to start in agriculture, because I understand that there is new initiatives for agriculture. So maybe we could do that one last because everybody is so big on agriculture. So let's start with small business development. What is available for entrepreneurs, people who already have a small business, or people who are even looking at starting now a new initiative?
Okay, so, well, as I mentioned when my last visit, our program was given a maximum of $25,000, and our interest rate was 6%. Now, COVID came. You know, COVID came and changed a lot of things for us. Right. So what was decided? We increased our limit from $25,000 to now $40,000. So persons can now get a maximum amount of $40,000 in any business, whether it's startup, whether it's existing. Our interest rate was also changed in the sense where persons who are involved in agriculture, fishing, agro-processing, and some small businesses under the tourism sector are now getting a 3% instead of getting a 6%. The other businesses still remain at the 6%. Okay. We also have we call our unsecured amounts, where you can get up to $10,000 as an unsecured amount. So you don't have to put down any full-fledged security. So that is all. That was also increased from 7,000 to 10,000. So that was the changes that took place from pre to post COVID.
Wow, that is quite a lot of information. So let's break it down. I am, because everybody knows I love practical examples. So I've been affected by COVID-19. I had to shut down my business in its current construct. It's not working. And I'm looking for a new initiative. I'm looking for a way in which I can now expand my business to meet the needs of the larger population. Can I come into the Grenada Development Bank and seek advice on what is the best way to tackle this new venture that I'm...
Yes, you can. Even though, if I can see, you don't just have to come into Grenada Development Bank, right? This small business program is a government program. This was set up in 2013. We are available, I would say, 24/7 because we're on Facebook, we're on WhatsApp. We can be found anywhere. We are housed in Grenada Development Bank. So it's not that we are Grenada Development Bank.
Right.
Okay? What happened... Well, again, due to COVID, there was a business committee that the NNP party had created.
Right.
And this group had an initiative where they visited all 15 constituencies.
Right.
So we were part of that.
Right.
So persons came. We helped them in giving them suggestions on how to do business plans, how to budget, how to access the same funds that the government has. Because
Right.
remember, the government would have given us $5 million to assist small businesses. So we visited 14 out of the 15. We have one more to go.
Okay.
We worked with them. They came with their ideas. They can come. We guide them along the way. So
Right.
we have that relationship with the various constituency offices, with various groups. Because we had GIDC come on board with us. So we're working with a lot of people to help train. Because training is what a lot of small business persons are missing, or
Right.
they don't understand much on how to have to keep their business viable.
So you guys are looking along, and I want us to backtrack to this initiative that you guys undertook. So a business committee or a business team was set up by the New National Party to look into small business initiatives within the constituencies, the different constituencies. And your role, along with the GIDC and so on, you guys, your role was simply to provide information, to guide them along the way, give them a helping hand, to figure out how they're gonna go from step one to step two. But what about the people who were not a part of this initiative? Do they still have an opportunity to come in and speak with you guys?
Yes, they do.
They
Yes,
do have an
Yes,
opportunity.
they do. Yes.
Now, what are some of the criterions in accessing the different loan opportunities for these individuals?
So requirements would be IDs, 2 pieces of ID, right? The IDs have to be valid. Proof of address. We require 2 reference letters. The reference letters cannot be from any family member, and
Right.
preferably no government minister.
Right.
Okay, because we don't, we pay suppliers. We require invoices, quotations, or billheads. We ask for a business registration. However, we know persons, not all businesses are registered.
Right.
So we work with you and we'll try to help you get the business registered. But this does not prohibit you from accessing the funds. If you're employed, we would ask you for a job letter or a pay slip. The different aspects, I don't know if you want me to break it down.
That would be great.
Okay,
yes.
right. So for fishing, we would require a recommendation letter from fisheries. Right now, we are asking for all vessels to please have marine insurance, because you know the hurricane season. So we ensure that all vessels are insured. The recommendation letter, as I said, from fisheries. A concession letter, because you know you get duty free. A valuation. If your vessel is already built, we must have a value of it. Now, in gathering all this information, persons say it's a lot, but that's what we are here for. If you're having problems, you can come and speak to us. We would then speak with the various ministries to see how quickly we can get all this information in for you so that we can get you up and going, because we know you probably, that's your livelihood and you need to get the money.
Right.
For agriculture, again, it's the same thing, that you must have an extension officer from the ministry visit you. We have the Bureau of Standard, who's also there to help us.
Okay.
You know, especially for persons who are involved in poultry and livestock. We don't want to know that you're coming to us, or maybe you have a business set up already, but it's in a residential area. It's quite small, but now you want to expand. Now your neighbors would start to have queries, you know, oh, the smell, you know. So that is why we ask for the ministries to kind of help us, to let you know, well, these are the reasons why. Let's look for somewhere else where we can relocate you, and all these different things.
Okay.
Persons involved in food. Now, you know, everybody wants to sell barbecue by the side of the road and your food handling certificate. We advise that this has to be done, because we don't want that something happens, somebody buys something from you, they get sick, and or the ministry pass and they ask, can I see your license? You don't have it. Then you'll come back and you might say, oh, you know, well, they shut me down and I can't pay you, because our loan program, it's not a grant, as I must make that clear. It's not a grant, it's a loan program. Now, it's a revolving fund. So when the government gives us the money to help you, you have to help us by giving us back so that we can go again and help
Somebody else.
Exactly. So those are the basic requirements. One of the other things that we do, we offer loans for vehicle purposes. But your vehicle has to be along the line of your business. You know, I mean, everybody laugh. Every time I say that, people laugh. But I have seen requests coming in, and somebody might be a farmer and they want me to give them a Lexus, an Altiza, and I'm thinking, how is that helping your business? So you have to think along the lines of what is the best type of vehicle for your business. Yes.
So as an individual, I can come into GDB. I'm getting a loan with a 3% interest that allows me to inject funds into my business to expand or to support. But also, you guys are giving loans for vehicles.
Yes.
That is rather interesting. So I love the idea of these small businesses, such as the man selling barbecue at the side of the road. Now he can probably put up a little barbecue hut.
Yes.
You know, to secure himself, even if there's a little rainfall, he's still able to operate. But also that he's able to secure his materials, his tools that he uses to work. You know. Somebody is saying here, explain what valid means. Saw a comment some time ago where someone went with an expired ID somewhere, and because it was not accepted, though it was no big thing as they already had one, IDs must be up to date. Things could have changed. So valid ID means it has not expired.
Correct.
It has not expired. Now, what about instances where, because right now we're having an issue, I wouldn't say it's an issue.
The voter's ID.
The voter's ID.
Right.
That has expired. And there are persons who have not yet reapplied for a new one, or there are people who have applied for a new one, and because there is a delay in the system, they haven't received it as yet. What happens in those instances?
We will take the one piece. We will take one piece until we get the second one. Again, remember, we work with you. We don't want to say, no, you don't have two pieces, so you can't get the loan.
Right.
No. Some persons, they have a form which says that they did apply for the ID and they're just waiting for it.
Y'all probably wondering why we're laughing. There's thunder rolling, and everybody who knows me knows that I am deathly afraid of thunder. So every time it rolls, I'm looking up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so they present the document to say that the ID, they're just waiting on it. So we can use that as well. So, I mean, once it is we know that, yes, you're applying for one, or at least you must have one piece of valid ID. Everybody has a passport or a national ID card or an NIS card. You would have something. Persons who can also bring in their birth certificate, so we can actually verify certain information.
Right.
You know, so we work, as I say, we are here to work with persons. That's our main goal.
I think it's time we start updating our birth certificates to have a picture ID. A picture on it. No, honestly, I mean, there's a stamp, there's a seal. Why not put a picture on it? Yes, Delma, just like you, I'm very afraid of thunder. So when it rolls, it just startles me.
But Delma loves the weather, so
I don't know. So I love this idea of an individual being able to sustain themselves, because sometimes you hear people saying, "Oh, instead of the helpers, they're asking us to take out loans." But I firmly believe that you are responsible for investing in yourself.
Exactly.
You are responsible for investing in your business. There's no pool of money out there that is just sitting and waiting for you to dip your hands into to facilitate your business or to facilitate whatever financial difficulties that you are going through. It is your responsibility to ensure that you invest in yourself, you know. And in a session the other day, the Prime Minister made mention of issues of non-compliance. People are not paying back these monies that are being given to them or being loaned to them. And I think it needs to be impressed upon them more that if they don't pay back, then someone else who really is in need is not going to be able to access.
Exactly.
You know, so I do believe that we need to do more in terms of encouraging people to pay back. Some people believe whenever you get something from government, that's it. You not to pay back.
Yes. So that's why I really, really emphasize the point. We're not a grant. We are a loan program. And I tell people, my job mainly, I drive, and I love to drive. Even if it is I'm not working, I may drive around the island. So I will pass and visit you at any time to see how things going. During the COVID time, persons who were affected, who have loans with us, we would have reached out to them. So we would have offered them a moratorium. So there again, that kind of helped them. You know, they wouldn't have to use out of their personal funds to sustain the business.
Right.
So, you know, we were able to give them a grace period for 3 months. After the 3 months came, we reviewed them again. So we always follow up with our customers to see how things are going, where we could probably help you. Persons may have businesses. At the time, that part of your business was going great. But then COVID came and things kind of slowed down.
Right.
Instead of shutting it down, you might have had an idea. Maybe I can probably diversify and do something else which enhances the business. So we could have helped you fund that. So instead of shutting down entirely, your business is still operating,
Right.
but just in a different aspect.
In a different aspect.
Yes.
I believe, honestly, that there is so much untouched territory when it comes to business. I think we, as Grenadians, we play safe a lot.
Very much.
We're not willing to take chances.
Yes.
You know, we're not willing to take chances. And I think the more that we start taking chances, the more that we would see and understand how beneficial it is to really invest in ourselves. Like, for example, you guys are offering loans to fishermen, fisherfolk, to come in and inject funds into their business. So they may already have their boats and so on. They now have to get insurance, which is something that normally they may not get on their own, you know? So that is one perk already, them having to get the insurance in order to get the funds. That's one perk. But then we're looking at them expanding their business. You know, you have a fisherman who is able to not just go out on the sea and catch his fish and come back and sell it to somebody else and they sell it for a higher price. But he is also able to maybe now buy a deep freeze.
Exactly.
You know, clean his fish and store it and sell it in his community. You know, and we need to see more of that, more community entrepreneurship where people have a business and you don't see 5 and 6 people with the same business, everybody in St. George's in town doing that one thing.
Yes.
You know, when I had to buy my redfish, I remember during the quarantine, and I came on air and I begged for somebody to, you know, bring some redfish in Montmorris, passing a van every day, a van passing, blowing and Jack Saloon. And I liked my redfish. And up to now, to this day, not one person passed with a little redfish.
You should have called me. I'd get somebody.
You see? I didn't know that. But it just goes to show that there needs to be more community entrepreneurship. There's a gentleman in my community who does farming, agriculture and stuff. Not on a very large scale, I don't think, but just enough. And he comes on a Saturday and he sets up in front of there's a shop right at the junction there with a big platform, and he comes and he sets up there and he's selling his corn and his pineapples and so on. And if this gentleman now accesses these funds, now he is able to put up a little booth where he doesn't have to sell once a week.
Yep.
Where he now can store his stuff, where he can turn his raw material now into something else.
Good, yes.
You know, where he could cook a pot a soup or something directly from his garden. So I think we need to think bigger. We need to think larger when it comes to small business development and understand really and truly that we are responsible for investing in ourselves. Because I've heard people say it and I cringe when I hear it, because in my mind I'm saying, well, you don't have the money. There's a loan facility available for you to take the money, but you're complaining that government only wants you to take a loan. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, how else exactly are you expected to get the money?
Free.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
Free. And I tell them the governments can give a certain amount. Government cannot give each and every single person. Now, if it is, you have a plan, and that's why it all comes back to you as an individual. I want to get this. I want to see myself reach a certain level. And right now, what I'm suggesting to business owners, set goals and targets.
Right.
Don't say, okay, let's use the fisherman again. I'm going out and I'm going to catch 10 pounds of fish, and I come back and I'm just going to drop it off to the vendor and it's out of my hands. But correctly, you can make this a business. You can buy a freezer. You can look to probably sell a portion of it. So you're employing 2 other people. You're the fisherman, you go out, you come back, you give it to your workers. You can corn it and sell it. You just don't sell just regular fish. You can think of all different ways in which it is. You can use the same raw material and turn it into another type of product.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. Guys, and we're going to open the lines at this time for those of you who want to call, who want to ask a question. The number to call is 440-7377 if you're calling locally. If you are in the diaspora and you want to give us a call, the number to call is 347-329-3101. Of course, you can send us a WhatsApp message or you can call us on WhatsApp at 440-7377. Now, I know that there are people in the diaspora who maybe want to start up a little business in Grenada. Does the fund extend to them, and what ways is available to them to really access that funding?
As I said, WhatsApp, email, because once it is the documents, I can tell you, we have a gentleman who's in the States right now, and he has made an application because he has a fishing vessel here.
Right.
We sent the documents to him. He got everything filled out. He notarized everything. Everything came back to us because he has people here who is working the business for him. So, yes, it can be done. It can be done.
Okay, and I think we have a caller on the line. My thing just giving me all sorts of different trouble this morning. So let's see. Let me see if we still have that caller on the line. Nope, it seems like we've lost it. I'm hoping that the individual calls back because, guys, we love to hear from you. And I know there are people out there who have questions as it relates to their business, as it relates to how they can get back on their feet. Because a lot of people have been affected by COVID in one way or the other. Their business has been affected and they just want to be able to start. And maybe this is an opportunity for you to really do the thing that you wanted to do initially, and you're not limited to just, whatever it is that COVID allowed you allowed you to do. There are individuals who worked at schools selling their little pastries and little things like that that were definitely affected. How can they now move from that one place and expand into something bigger? These are the kind of questions that you'd have to ask. These are the kind of things that you want. And then I know that GIDC or GIDC, right. I always get that mix up. GIDC, they have training sessions, grant fundings available as well. Yes. So can you imagine, you go, you get your training in whatever the area is, because usually they do a survey, from what I understand, a market research basically, to find out where the areas of needs are. And if you can go, you get your little training, you have access to grant funding, and on top of that, you have access to a loan that allows you to inject even more funds. Just imagine what that can do for you for your business. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hi, caller, can you hear us? Hello, good morning. Oh, no. It seems like the caller is there, but they're not quite there. They're there, but they're not quite there. Yeah, so imagine what that can do for your business. We have the blue economy now becoming a thing, becoming on stream, and we have fisher folk out there who need to now start thinking about the ways in which they can tap into the blue economy. Yes. And when you have these funds available, imagine what that can do for you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Ms. Duncan and your guest.
Good morning.
Good morning. I am very happy to hear about that program this morning and listening to you. And I feel obliged to call because I know there are lots of women out there, who wants to get involved in some business or cooperative, whatever the case may be. And I believe that this is an opportunity that they should call, and perhaps I will call and assist in making some representation for them.
Okay.
In this light of this COVID, and we have to live a new normal, and then as going forward with economic recovery, there is that group of women out there in the 40s to upwards who are generally they are single mothers. They do the bushing program on the road, and that's it. But I want to encourage them to start a business. You know, they may be skilled in an area, whether it's agriculture, agro-processing, whatever it is, they may be skilled in an area. So then I want to ask you, what's your advice to these women out there who have interest, they have a project idea, but what assistance or directives that you could give them, advise them in how they take that project idea and turn it to a viable business, so at least they become successful business people. Thank you. Have a good day, and I listen.
Thank you so much, caller. I think what the caller is asking, and it's a very good question actually, for women wanting to engage in business together. So they form a cooperative and they have decided that we want to start up this business. Is that something that you guys have looked into? Are they allowed as a group to now access these funds?
They can do it, however, it will be on an individual basis. Presently, the Ministry of Agriculture, there's the AgriCom project, and that's where groups are formed, right? They have persons who have indicated that they need assistance. So we are looking at seeing how it is we can address this in assisting them either as a group, but presently we are dealing with individuals. Cooperatives, I know the cooperatives, there's an association for that, so they can get assistance directly from them. But again, the option is yours. If you figure you want to come to us, then you can. I know cooperatives now, it's very difficult to form a cooperative because it involves 10 persons before you can start a cooperative. Right? I must applaud the ministers, I know, from St. Mark and St. Andrews Southwest. That's Minister Bain. Right. I know they are working greatly with the women up there.
Right.
I know they've formed some groups, and I mean, I have visited and I have seen some of these projects. I know for St. Mark personally, there is an agro-processing that they're looking at. There's a lady who does cornfish.
Okay.
You know, and you just sit and you listen to some of them, and you know they want to do it, but they just don't know how.
Right.
So, I mean, I would tell persons, don't be afraid. Sometimes you're afraid to get up and come because you're not sure. No question is a stupid question. Come with it. If you think you may have an idea, but you don't know how to get it started, we would help you.
Okay.
Even if we can't help, we would find somebody who can help you.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That is excellent. Now, I definitely have to look into that cooperative, as you mentioned it, the Cooperative Association, and what opportunities are available for people who formed or want to form cooperatives and want to engage in business in that nature. Now, I want us to focus specifically on agriculture and what is available for people who are already in or looking to get into the agricultural field, who want to invest in that. What opportunities are available for them specifically?
Well, the opportunity is there for them to access the funds. I mean, we have the money, so it's just for you to come to us and tell us what it is you want. Whether it is you need you want to expand, or you need new equipment, or you purchase a piece of property and you need some assistance in clearing it and planting seeds, or you need, you know, that it's just for you to come to us.
Right.
We are just, technically, we're just sitting here waiting for you to come to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they don't come and access the funding for clearing of land, because there is a family labor program that kind of deals with that. So that would be a waste really of resources. But I I'm hoping, honestly, because we've spoken about this here before, we've spoken about some of the opportunities that are available, but do you see people accessing the fund? Is there enough applications coming in? And but that does not sound good.
We are seeing a lot of applications. Persons are definitely accessing the funds.
Okay.
They are. I got some information. Let me just check my phone and give y'all some info to tell you how it is these funds are being accessed. Oh my. But yes, persons are definitely coming.
And do we see more women than men accessing, or is there like a fair balance?
No, well, before COVID, we had a fair balance, but now we're seeing more men.
More men.
Ladies,
what going on? Were we sleeping now?
I think the women saying, they had to stay home with the children because they didn't have school. I mean, that might have been the reason, but
we have to find a balance. I mean, as women, we have to find, and I'm talking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. We have to find a balance because I am a single mother of two. Well, plus I'm studying, plus I'm working, and it is difficult, but I have to find the balance, and I think it's important that we, as women, sometimes it's easy to find an excuse as to why we can't do this. But I think sometimes it's about just, taking that leap and see where the water brings us. Kind of see where the water brings us, and not be too timid to take that risk because, men only take that risk, or some men only take that risk because they feel like, okay, well, my wife, she go watch them children.
Yeah.
But if you say, listen, I want to do something with myself too, so we had to share this thing half. So we had to figure out a way where you and I can do this together.
Yes.
And I think that's the viewpoint in which, as women, we have to start looking at these things now. Somebody is saying, if someone wants to get into an agricultural business but does not have the finance to buy agricultural lands, is that something that is supported by the fund? What are the requirements for obtaining a loan to buy agricultural lands?
Okay, so I would have to take that back because we have never done it in the past. Because, we don't remember our program is a small program, so our limit was quite small, which is $40,000.
Right.
I'm not sure if it is you can get lands for that amount. Remember, we also have to include, if the purchase of land, you have legal fees and all these other charges associated with it. I can get that information to you, and you can always let them know. But as of now, it's not something we have ever done in the past. But again, we can see what we can do. But I know GDB is there. As I say, that's like our mother.
Yes.
They do offer that. They do offer that.
Right. I would like to see that become a reality. I'll tell you why. Because with the government already subsidizing so much in agriculture, you get concession on vehicles, you get fertilizers at a discounted price, you get farm labor support, you get the plants, the seedlings and so on from the nurseries and stuff at a very, very, very subsidized price. It is, I can see it where someone is saying, okay, listen, all I need for you to do for me is to just give me that money, let me buy that piece of land, $5,000 for how many of the that I need to get, and government gonna do the rest for me. Because that is the reality of it. That is what is happening right now. The only thing I can see going wrong is that the person gets into it and realizes, boy, that's a lot of hard work and I can't manage, and then they need to pay back the loan and we have a problem. And
I think maybe I can't see. Off of my head, I'm thinking, how do I know that you're going to use that land that I'm going to buy for you for agricultural purposes, and you're not going to put up a house on it?
Right.
And, after you climb, you say, oh my God, all this work, but I just put up a house on it. Then we lose out.
Right.
So I think that might be a challenge, but again, as I say, we would look at it. So I'll take it back to the heads and let's hear what they say. But yeah.
Right. But that's a valid point. But I really believe it's about honesty, because really and truly, I could come and take a loan. I could say, okay, well, I want to inject this into my business. But how do you really know that that's what I'm going to do with it?
That's why we pay the suppliers and we don't give
you pay
the money.
Suppliers.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So that definitely answers that question. So guys, you hear that? You can't go and apply for that loan because you want to go and get your hair and your nails done, or you want to invest in a bad ride, or you can't do it for that. The checks are made out to the suppliers.
Exactly.
And they are paid to provide you with whatever goods or services that you need to inject into your business. And I think it's a better it's a better thing. It puts an ease on my mind when I think about it. Now, I want us to take a very short break. We'll take a short break. But I know you have some information to give. So do you want to give that information before or after the break?
We can give it after.
We can give it after.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, we're going to take a short break. Remember to write your questions down. Ask. Remember, there's no stupid question. There is no question that cannot be answered. Every question has an answer. It may not be the answer you want to hear, but it has an answer. So, guys, get your pen and paper. Call a neighbor. Call a friend. Find out from somebody who you know has a little business, or even if you know someone has a skill, that you feel, listen, that person could do really good in the community if they're doing hair. Or that person could do really good in the community if they start to make hot lunches.
Or they're a painter.
Or they're a painter.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Guys, please. Or you can even say, listen, I have a skill, but I don't have the materials or the tools to do my skill. What I want this money for is to get the tools. So I could become the community plumber, or I could become the community electrician, or I could become the community mason or carpenter, whatever it is, These funds are available for us to take advantage of. And when I say take advantage, I mean take it and don't pay the people back their money, because the money has to come from somewhere. There's
Don't worry, even if they pay, I will find them.
You will find them. I like the sound of that. Guys, we're going to take a short break. And then, of course, when we come back, we'll have more conversation surrounding this small business development fund, how you can access it, what is available to you, and, of course, what we can do to help build our businesses. We'll be back in a short while.
Hello, this is your government notices for today. Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. I am Carleen Peters. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell has embarked on a series of meetings with ministers, permanent secretaries, and other senior ministry officials in wake of the recently announced cabinet reshuffle. The Prime Minister met with top officials of the Ministry of Health and charged the team to work together to bring about the best possible healthcare for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. For the first time, the Ministry of Health will have two ministers. Honorable Nicholas Steele maintains responsibility for health and social security, while Honorable Delma Thomas will have specific responsibilities for health services, in addition to being the Minister of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment. There will also be two permanent secretaries. Government has a fundamental responsibility to provide the best healthcare possible. The Prime Minister stated the entire team must make an effort so that we have the best opportunity at success. This is a bold step in the right direction, and collaboration and communication must be seen as critical keys to this success. The Prime Minister's meeting with the various ministers and senior ministry officials will continue in the run-up to the ministers assuming their new portfolios on October 5th, 2020. There will also be changes to the assignment of permanent secretaries. An official announcement of this will be forthcoming. Grenada's National Sustainable Development Plan 2020 to 2035 will be an anchor for the country's 2021 budget, which will be presented later this year. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, disclosed this last week as he addressed participants in a national consultation to public input for the 2021 budget. This year's budget presentation will focus on the theme towards Vision 2035, recovery, transformation, and resilience. Dr. Mitchell said the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic will also influence government's interventions ongoing into 2021. Prior to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting economic fallout, Grenada was on track to record another year of significant economic growth. He said, "We need to look at the policies, projects, and programs with the greatest potential in this period that would drive the recovery." The government also consulted with the nation's youth to get their input. The government of Grenada has awarded a contract valued at EC 5.1 million to Caribbean Civil Group Limited to undertake a geotechnical study at Martiniere. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Implementation recently concluded extensive negotiations with Caribbean Civil Group Limited to undertake the geotechnical investigation and detailed designs for the Martiniere slippage and the Western Main Road corridor. The contract provides 4 months for the completion of the geotechnical study and design work. Topographic and other surveys will commence along the entire corridor tomorrow, October 1st, 2020, once good weather permits. This will determine where the road will be reconstructed. Residents of the affected area and the general public will be invited to stakeholder consultations during the entire process. The environmental and social impacts assessment and management plans will also be prepared along with the detailed design and other documents prior to construction. All these activities are expected to take place during the 4-month period stipulated for the detailed designs. The ministry anticipates the cooperation of residents. The general public is asked to refrain from vehicular traffic in the Martiniere area. The ministry will ensure that bi-weekly updates are provided once the firm begins its work. The Ministry of Agriculture has begun the process of implementing a national livestock identification and movement control program through the launching of its livestock tagging program. The tagging program, launched at the Belmont Estate in St. Patrick, encourages proper record keeping and traceability within the sector while aiding the ministry in retrieving production data and strengthening its efforts towards its food and nutrition security. It will take on a one-color coded effect specific to each parish, promoting an identification system that will serve as a deterrent to animal theft and provide a system for disease control in the sector. This livestock tagging system will also provide a solution to the problem of ownership often faced in the sector due to the similarities among animals. The system will also be effective in monitoring each individual animal's route from its place of birth to its death at the slaughter facility. In this regard, the Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford, encourages continuity and follow-up sessions under the program. She said traceability is the foundation of any future system for food safety and epidemiological surveillance for animal diseases. There is a growing need for identification of livestock and livestock products from the point of origin to the point of consumption. The program will begin in the parish of St. Andrew and will continue in a counterclockwise direction. The ministry is urging all farmers to take advantage of this initiative. And now for your government reminder. The Chinese Agricultural Mission will visit the Agriculture Division in the Ministry of Carriacou and P.T. Martinique Affairs and Local Government on Thursday, October 1st, 2020. The mission will provide free training for farmers and gardeners in groundnut cultivation. Interested persons are advised to contact the Agriculture Division at 443-6026 or Senior Agriculture Officer Mr. Benson Patrice at 406-1148 for registration and information. The division is appealing to all farmers and gardeners in Carriacou to capitalize on the opportunity and looks forward to maximum participation. This has been your government notices for today, Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. I am Carleen Peters. Until next time.
It's our prerogative to ensure that your key is in safe hands with us. Here is how you can unlock your success with an education loan from the GDB. We offer you 3 loan options. We've got our regular student loan, our work-study student loan, and our special student loan. Our regular student loan is for persons who wish to pursue full-time tertiary level education. If you are a permanent employee who wish to study while continuing your employment, then our work-study loan is for you.
Our special student loan is in collaboration with the government of Grenada, geared towards vulnerable persons who would like to pursue higher level education.
Remember, you must have proof of admission from a recognized institution here at home or abroad.
All our loans are 100% financing with interest rates as low as 5%.
Get your funding from GDB today for your tertiary level education, your technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
All right, guys, and we are back. Of course, as I said before, the lines are open. If you have questions, you are free to pose those questions to us. The number to call is 440-7377 if you're calling locally. If you are in the diaspora and you want to give us a call, the number to call is 347-329-3101. You can also send us messages via WhatsApp, or you can, of course, give us a phone call via WhatsApp as well. The chat is open as well on the live video, so you can post your questions there and we can answer them as well. Someone on the live is saying, good morning, cooperatives definitely work. I have been a member of one for the past 20 odd years and it works. It has its ups and downs, but it is the way to go. Now, being a person who likes practical examples, so I walk into small business fund, small business development fund, or our area of the Grenada Development Bank, and I say, I want to be able to access $10,000 unsecured, 3% interest. Now, what would be my monthly fixture? What would I be paying monthly back to facilitate my loan?
Okay. I don't have a standard, so I'll give you an average because it depends on your business, right? Some businesses generate.
All right. Before you answer that, let's take that call quickly. I don't want my callers. Hello. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're hearing us?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, and we are hearing you.
I don't believe it. We're going to small business. What if you should firstly look at the environment where they live in, and look at see what is their need, the people in the village need. You hear me, Duncan?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
You need to listen to us on the phone and not on the radio, because we're hearing an echo in the background.
Look at what the people in the village need, and before you go into small business, because if you live in your village and see the people need a lot of things like trim, men they need to trim a lot. Right? You go into a barber shop. If you see that people need a lot of food stuff where everybody they are going to come to get it. Some might not have the money, I'm going to pay the boss. Right? So you can open a shop. Because what happens when business fails, you have people who are open business that the people in the village don't really pay attention to. So I want to say to you go into business, look at the environment where you live in and see what the need of the people in the village to go over small business. But I always encourage small business, people who go into small business, let them know that the life is not a smooth sailing. When you're in business, some days sometimes you might make a $500, sometimes you might make a $200. That's life. That's life. The road might not be easy all the time. But then, as you go into small business, you have to make a commitment that you remember you take money to get to open business. So then you don't people going in the shop, but remember you have that money to pay back. And again, that's what a lot of times people go to small business when they get us money, they don't want to pay back. When you didn't pay back that money, it hinders other people from achieving what they want to achieve in life. So we make a commitment to pay. So you should also have the commitment to on Monday we get up, we go into the shop, and even in the shop we go do all other things, pretty things. You go make things like tart, you go make things like sports to sell. Even in the barber shop, yes, our barber shop is a place to trim, but if we have a brass fridge and sell drinks and other things. So while you have the barber shop, you still make other income, right? To pay back the loan. So, Ms. Uncle, you all have a wonderful God bless you.
You as well. Thank you so much, caller. Before I made you lose your train before I make you lose your train of thought. All right. So give us an idea of what those fixtures would look like.
Okay. Right. So as I was saying, it depends on the type of business because every business generates income faster than others.
Right.
Right. But on average, I did a calculation. So if we're looking at 3%, you're paying, I gave you a 4-year period to repay your loan. And I must say, our program, we have up to 10 years to repay a loan. But remember, the longer you take to pay it back, the more money you're going to be paying.
Of course.
Right. So I gave you a 4-year. Basically, most loans get up to 4 years to pay,
right.
4 to 6 years. And you're paying back about $220 a month. That's at your 3%. Now, persons who get the 6%, like the hairdressers and so, they're paying $230. So you see the difference. There's not much of a difference. Now, if you're looking to get the maximum $40,000 for a 4-year period, you're looking at $800 a month on average.
Now, the security for the $40,000 loan. Now, that can range from actual physical property or assets to a guarantor, or is the guarantor not applicable in this instance?
No, if you're using a guarantor, the guarantor himself would have to put up an asset.
Okay.
Right? Our securities, very simple securities. You can actually use the same equipment that you want us to purchase as your security. So you don't have to come and tell me, well, Lord, we are going to get money to come. You don't need to put down, there's no cash that you have to put down. So you can use your actual machine, equipment, the same vehicle. You can use all these things as your security.
So, and I mean, this is good, because I hope you all are listening and analyzing this, because in the event that my business, for some reason or the other, does not work out,
I take it and I sell it. I put it for sale, and that is how it is. We will take care of the balance that you have for us.
Well, look at that. I mean, I don't understand more what people need. I feel like I'm ready to start my business right now, you know. I want people to understand and listen carefully to the information that is being provided here, because it may not be applicable to you directly. It may not be, the person listening may not be the one in need of this loan facility, but you may hear a story along the way.
Yeah.
You may meet a friend or a family member, or you may know someone in your village who needs some assistance,
yes,
who you know has a skill, or who may not have a skill but is willing to learn a skill.
Yeah.
Or is willing to you may want to say, okay, well, I don't have the time. Like right now, I don't have the time to run a business, but I may have a business idea. And I may have an individual who I can trust within the community and say, listen, I know that you are struggling, your family is struggling, and I want to give you a job. You know, I want to put you to run my business. You know, that is also another way that you can look at it. So in turn, you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping someone
Somebody
else.
Yes.
You're giving a job to another individual that is in need.
Yes.
of a job. And I think that is a wonderful thing to do. And I think the more we understand that we have to invest in ourselves, you have to invest in yourself. Like when growing up, I always say, unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, a gold spoon in your mouth, or you're born into money that is yours, then you have to invest in yourself. You have to, and that's why places like court centering is available. You know, you ain't gonna just grow up and become an adult and then all of a sudden you're gonna end up with furniture. It doesn't work like that.
But even the same people who are born into money, these are the people you see wanting to access the funds when those who actually need the assistance, is, as I said, it's like they're afraid. But you can't want to get into business or get into anything and be afraid.
Yeah.
You know, if I may respond to the last customer, the last caller. One of the things he mentioned, looking at the environment, that's something that we do. So he said open a shop. Now, if you're living in a small community and you have a shop, you can't tell me that you see your neighbor do it, and because you figure your neighbor making, I go make too, so I'm going to open a shop. Because you'll come to me and I will tell you, no, I don't. So we do look at all of that. And I think what persons need to do before it is you even think about coming to us, do market research.
Right.
Proper market research, yes.
Right. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Is this the program I'm listening to?
Yes, it is, and you're live on air.
I'm just want to ask a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do pastries, right, for my son to go and sell. We have a van. But what happened, I'm a retiree and he goes out to sell. So, talking and getting a loan, how could I start to do that for him? He could do everything for himself.
Okay, so your son is the one that operates, the business is yours.
I do the pastries.
You do the pastries, the making, but he's the one that does the actual selling, the actual soliciting.
We have a van.
And you guys already have a vehicle. And you already have a vehicle.
Yeah, we have a vehicle. Which we're paying back for. My husband paying back for it, but he...
Okay, so you're looking for funds to do exactly what? Expand the business?
Like if I could buy me stuff and thing in a bulk.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So we're looking for a big set of loan, right? So what and that we could do? What and that amount I could ask for?
Okay. Do you want to her to answer it now, or you want to listen for the answer?
I have to go to get some stuff on the road there, so.
So what you can do, if it is, you can take my telephone number.
Tell me.
It's 459 07 73. Yes.
459-0773.
Yes.
My name is Gemma Dominic, right? So
okay, thank you.
Who I could ask to talk to? That your personal number?
Once you call, you'll get me, but it's Miss Haywood.
Miss?
Haywood.
Haywood?
Yes.
Haywood. Okay, thank you so much, right?
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And these are the kind of calls that we want to get today.
Yes, you see, she said she's a retiree. Now, our program, we don't have an age limit.
Okay.
Because self-employed persons, I mean, I could be 60, 65, right? So we don't have an age limit for you to say that I'm going to let my son do it because I think I'm too old. I mean, you're the one that's doing the business.
Right, right. Yeah. And I think that's great because we spoke, was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday. It was Monday. Mr. Bowler and I spoke about, and we've spoken about it here before as well, people not having a retirement plan. Like, you work all your life, all the way to 60, and then when 60 comes, you're dependent on the pension that you receive, whether it's from a private pension fund or from the NIS. But you don't have anything else to inject funds into. So when you retire, all of a sudden it hits you, listen, I don't have enough money to survive, you know? And I think this is an opportunity. It's a way, like they say, COVID have good and bad in it.
True.
And I think this is one of the good things that COVID has given to a lot of people. So even people who have already retired and they're looking now at a way in which they can make a little extra money on the side to help them maintain themselves because what they're getting just isn't cutting it. That is something that they can also look into. And I mean, it is sort of looking at it as a retirement plan, you know, looking at it as a business that you will nurture and grow until it is time for you to take over. You, like I said, you may work a 9 to 5 or, you know, a 5 to 11 or whatever your shift is, but you are employing someone else.
Yeah.
And that person now is in a position or maybe in a position now where even they can branch off and start their business. But one thing that you mentioned that I think is something that, and it's a mentality issue, that we have here in Grenada called the copycat syndrome.
Yes.
We have that a very, very bad copycat syndrome here in Grenada. And I saw it flourishing, especially with, one, the selling of barbecue, the selling of corn, and those DVDs that people do on the side of the road. No, there was a point in time where the entire sidewalk by Andal was just, it was like walking into a video, a store that just sells CDs and stuff with movies on it, because every single person decided that, okay, this person look like they're making money. Now, every day they're coming out there and grind and they're going home with no CDs. I find I must do that too. And the thing is, they didn't even pick a genre. They didn't even pick a type. Everybody's selling the exact same thing, and it's a copycat syndrome. Because we see we neighbor do it and they flourishing, we want to do it too. And we ain't even doing it subtly, We go in and set up, we barbecue stand right next to his, So it is a syndrome that we need to get over. We need to start flourishing our own ideas, because guess what? Whatever you flourish is the thing that you will be passionate about.
Exactly.
And it is the thing that you would want to see grow and develop and expand, because it's your baby, it's your brainchild.
Yeah.
It's your idea. You didn't piggyback off of someone else's thing, So it would help you now in growing and developing your business. There are some people who like to hustle. That's what they're good at. You see them in town selling juice and pastries, and every day they're there and they're at it. And some people may look at that and say, hey, you ain't see how people in Grenada struggling? Look, the man every day he had to come and sell the juice, but we don't know.
Exactly.
The man probably loved doing what he's doing.
Yes.
Look at that guy. He's an entrepreneur. He sells stew. And so on.
Yes.
You can't miss him. He has a very loud voice. Everything we have is locally made.
Yes.
Yeah. He every single day, and he sells his stuff, and every single day he's there. All right, so let's take this call quickly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I've only just joined the program. I wasn't able to listen from the beginning, but I've just heard at least one person call in who obviously has a family plan with the mother and father and the son involved in this business, even if they are retirees. But for those persons who are not yet retired and those who are studying and so, I am just wondering if when people come in to you to seek advice or you're supportive of them, whether or not they're given advice about the situation regarding their national insurance responsibilities, whether for themselves or as employers. Because I believe that those two things go hand in hand and should be tied in, because in addition to the kind of copycat mentality that was just mentioned, sometimes it happens that people get the feeling also that I work for my money, give me my money, I sell all my stuff, I want my money, I have to buy this, I have to buy that. And the putting aside and the planning in that regard is not done, especially for national insurance and repayment of debts. And I'm just wondering whether or not some information can be given about that, or whether that is part of the discussion that happens when somebody seeks your advice at Grenada Development Bank. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that question, and a very interesting question at that, because that is something that I was also going to ask. Apart from just giving out the loans and advising on how they can repay and so on, do you have facility available to do consultations with them, financial consultations? We're not very good managers of money. That is clear in a lot of instances. We are not savers. We are spenders. Yes. We like to spend. I'm speaking from experience again. Ask my friends and my coworkers. Sometimes I go and a lot of things catch my eye. A lot of things catch my eye. And once it's pretty and I find, well, nice, I would find a reason why I need it.
You need it.
You know, and a lot of people do that. You don't necessarily need it, but you would find a reason why you have to buy it. You need it. So is there that kind of facility available where they get advice on how to budget so that we are sure that they can pay back and that they will pay back. And even if they're having a little financial difficulty at some point along the way, that you guys are able to advise on how they can move past it.
Yes, we do. We have, ever so often, we may have little workshops where we bring you in, we may do bookkeeping, we may speak, we may invite, well, we've never done one with NIS, but I was looking at what's happened now with COVID. Many persons were not registered with COVID. And as a small business owner, whether it is you have one person employed with you or not, we need to ensure that everybody's registered.
Right.
Because you remember the talk out, government say, come and I'm going to get help with income support and payroll. And then they say, oh, no, but I didn't get through. It was because certain things were not put in place.
Right.
And I think as a business owner, you have to think this is no longer a hobby. I'm now doing this as a business. So let me find out all the things that I have to do in order to operate as a business and not just as I feel this morning I want to make 10 cake and go and sell it.
Yeah.
You know? So we are looking to carry out a lot more of these workshops. As I mentioned earlier, the Business Support Committee, we had Mr. Horsford, and he gave tips on how to do proper budgeting.
Okay.
You know, as simple as it is. I mean, you don't have to have a whole Excel spreadsheet. You can use a notebook.
Right.
And you just write down, today I sold 5 corned beef or 1 corned beef. And you don't have to wait until the end of the day. When the customer leaves, you write it down.
Right.
So you won't forget.
Right.
You know, very, very simple, basic stuff. Yes. So we are looking at doing all of that. And again, I say it's a partnership. So you yourself as the applicant, you can call and say, you know what? Can you help me? I'm looking for some help. I think I need a little training in this area, you know, and we would see where it is we can help you. If we have to put you onto GIDC, or if we can get one of our reps to come and go through and help you with your books, look at how it is. But again, it's kind of difficult because when you ask, do you have records? No, I don't have records. Record keeping is something that we are asking small business persons, please get yourself involved in it. Get involved in it because it would help you long way down the line. It would help.
But what if they don't know? Because we have a lot of small business people here in Grenada, entrepreneurs, you know. Some people don't even consider themselves entrepreneurs, but they are. You know, just like the lady said that called earlier, she bakes the pastries, her son goes out and sell them. Some people see that as, well, I need to make a little money to do XYZ, but that's a business.
Exactly.
You know, and it's important for us to start looking at these things seriously. I'll give you an example. During COVID, we had a few people in the entertainment sector, for example. They do what they do and so on, but they were affected by, of course, the lockdown. Tourism gone wherever it gone, and you know,
out to sea.
But they don't treat their whatever they do as a business per se. So most of them don't pay NIS for them and the rest of their band. They don't register as a business. So it's difficult now for them to access these facilities because, I mean, you really don't have a business, you know. We have a call on the line. I want us to take that call quickly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to call back again.
No problem.
Answering my last question. But I think Ms. Duncan just hit it on the nail on the head when she said, you know, in Grenada, and in think, oh, I'm doing a pankwai, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and they don't see it as a business. Some people who go about, they might cut my grass to put yours tomorrow, and they still don't see that as a business. And I was wondering whether also in GDB, as part of the whole consultation process, there's a sheet of paper that's given to people so that without any explanation, just words, so that they know what to ask for when to seek help. For example, even a single word that you say, I don't know, you would say pankwai. That's a business.
Yeah.
The different words that describe what is really a business, what a business is. It doesn't have to be where you employ anybody. It doesn't have to be that you're doing the same job for the same person over 3 months or even 3 weeks before it becomes a business. once you are being paid by somebody, and you're kind of self-employed, whatever, all those things are your personal work business, and those things require support from GDB and its affiliates and associates. And I'm just thinking that, in a way, that's the kind of PR that would help people, all of us on the ground and all of us who are doing small things by the wayside, that we kind of get the opportunity to change our mindset and to rethink the way that we operate on a day-to-day basis. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much. Yep, and it's absolutely right. We don't see the little things that we do as a business. And as she rightfully said, someone doing a cutting yard, today I cut this person yard, tomorrow I cut, or even you may have somebody in the community, like I know there's a gentleman in my community who goes around and he cuts maybe 5 or 6 yards, people that he religiously cuts their yards, that he is their landscaper, that's what he does. And he doesn't see it as a business. He sees it as a little panquai. I'm going to make a little panquai today, a little panquai tomorrow. And they don't see it as a business. So it is important for them to start looking at these things as businesses. And as she rightfully said, yes, how do I know when I need help? What are my triggers? When do I know that I need to make that call? When do I know that I need to ask for a little assistance or ask for a little help? And I think probably it's important for us to identify the people who have a business but are not good in terms of bookkeeping, so that they can identify someone who is able to do the bookkeeping for them. Even if they have to pay somebody a little school child a little $5 to balance their books, a little college student a little $5 to balance their books. I mean, you call that outsourcing somebody, you're helping somebody else, and of course, apart from you helping that child financially, you're giving them practice.
Yes.
You're giving them experience, because when they go to work somewhere else, they can say, listen, I've been doing books for XYZ amount of years since I've been 16. I'm balancing mommy books for she little business. I'm balancing the guy up the road books for his little business, and so on. So it also, it really does trickle down into a lot of other things. And I think it's important for us as a people to start looking at these things seriously. I know we hear a lot about tourism and we talk about agriculture, but we're not really serious in terms of what we want for ourselves, in terms business-wise. We're not serious. We need to get serious. These funds are available. You hear a lot about agriculture. Now is an opportunity for a lot of the farmers and so on to go into agro-processing, because you don't have the hotel facilities anymore that are able to take a bulk of the produce that you have off your hand. So you are hearing a lot of farmers saying, we have an overflow. It's not an overflow because they're planting more. It's an overflow because the people who normally take the bulk of it, they don't take it anymore. So this is a proper opportunity now for them to say, listen, I want to access these funds to buy whatever. And then government also has a facility available where they get a certain amount of concession if they're bringing in machines and so on for agro-processing and these other things in the rural areas. I mean, it cannot get better than that. And everything is linked together. So they have to take advantage of these things cohesively. You can't want government to give you a loan to inject funds into your business and you don't know what you're going to do with it yet, or you don't have a plan, or you don't have an idea. But then you also don't want to take a loan, but you want to build your business. There's no such thing as free money. There is absolutely no such thing as free money. Somebody somewhere is paying for it. So you have to always think about that. Always in the back of your mind, you're thinking, even if it's a grant, somebody somewhere has made that investment.
Exactly.
Whatever their reason is behind it, that's their business. But somebody somewhere has made that investment. So I want to appeal to the people out there, even the fishermen, because the last time we had the Minister of Fisheries here, who is soon going to be former Minister of Fisheries, he made mention of not having enough fishing trawlers to really get out into the deeper Atlantic to get the fish that is really being exported. You know, we are satisfied with just the little fishing boat, and we go out, we catch a couple tuna, we catch a couple redfish, we catch a couple marlin. Hear me calling fish name like I know what I'm talking about. But you know, we're comfortable with that.
Yes, we don't like to step out of our comfort zone, and that is the problem we've seen with a lot of our small business applicants. They're comfortable. I'm comfortable. Let's take the fishermen. Now, I told you I was going to give you some information.
Yes.
Now, COVID was in March. So, from March, April to July, we approved 127 applications.
Right.
This is not applications received. These are just only approvals because we're still working on a lot of them. Right? Out of that, we had 19 of these were fishermen. And a lot of them, they want to get another engine, but you already have a boat and an engine. How about if you try and expand and look to see if I can get another boat or maybe a bigger vessel instead of trying to fix the little one that I have? You know that, everybody has to eat, so I must get fish. I mean, I know they have fish in the ocean. You might not get the quantity, but think about getting a bigger boat. Then you can employ and give somebody else a job. You know? So it is, again, we comfortable. I'm comfortable. I just want to go out there. I'll go on the reef. I'll dive a little lamby and lobster and come back. I'll take some home for myself. And we also have to remember, I'm operating a business, especially for shop owners. It's a business. I'm not going to go in the shop and take milk and corned beef and have it home and not pay for it. I have to pay for it because that is my business. That is how it is. I have to operate. You know. So we have to step out of that comfort
zone. For example, and I want to stick on fishermen because I like fish. So if I could help, I like fish. I'd prefer fish over eating chicken. But if for some reason you have a fisherman, or there's a fisherman in my community that decides that he's going to get the fish, he's going to clean the fish, he's going to cut it up, he's going to package it, he's going to seal it, and all I have to do is pay him some money and collect it and cook it or store it in my fridge. I'm very satisfied with that, you know, because you see instances where they go out to sea. They're by the side of the road, they clean their fish, they cut it up, and they give you in a bag. But what if you are able to now turn that little spot? You know, you put your little deep freeze, you build your whatever hut or whatever around it, you secure your place, you have your equipment to corn your fish, you have your equipment to cut up your fish, you have your equipment there. In the event that you get some lobster, you're able to clean up my lobster and I go there and I buy it, and you know, so you're taking out that trickle down effect where I catch a fish, I sell it to a vendor, the vendor sells it to a supermarket, and then the consumer has to buy it for 3 times the cost, you know? So it's important for us to, as individuals, look for ways in which we can build and expand our own business. I mean, if you're not capable, that's fine. You know, if you can't get help, and you're comfortable with just doing what you're doing, then this conversation is really not for you. But this is a conversation for people who really want to step out of their comfort zone and they don't know how. They ain't know where to start, how to start, when to begin. And that's important. You know, you see a lot of husbands go out, and women, of course, I always have to say to my women, sometimes we have to put our foot down. Put it down, stamp it down, whatever. If my husband decides he go in and fish, and I find when he come home, he bringing home money, as a woman, I sit down and figure out how I can make that money turn into more money, you know.
But Stacey, let me tell you, all our fishing loans, the majority of our successful fishing loans are those loans where you see the fishermen have ladies behind them.
Of course, because Anyway, I don't want to say that. If I have a lot of men listening, I might get vexed. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Saywood, do you have a WhatsApp number?
That same number is WhatsApp.
Okay, well, when my son come on, ask him to do it for me, please. So I'll talk to you on it, right?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Yep. See, I could see she's smiling already. I could hear her smiling already because in her mind, the wheels, I tell you, women, the wheels are already turning as to how she's going to expand that business and how she's going to make that little pastry business now grow into something bigger. You never know, I might see her catering and things. No, I mean,
Yes,
you have to step out of your comfort zone. And I like what she said when she calls. She's now looking at ways in which she can buy her goods in bulk and go ahead and make more, and she'll be saving at that. So it means that she has to be doing well already to want to expand in that kind of way. So guys, we have to step out of our comfort zones. We have to go the extra mile. We have to make it work. I know there's a gentleman in my community who is doing training with fisher folk. He's teaching them how to use the GPS systems and so on, which I think is a wonderful initiative, because now that they are qualified to do these things, then they can feel more confident to go out there, to tread deeper waters. And then now you can invest in a bigger boat, as you said, you know, to go even further, to get more. You know, I mean, we're not going to be affected by COVID forever. So you want to make sure that when we get out of this mess and we can go back to some sort of normalcy, that we can, you know, we can facilitate whatever the needs of the wider world is. But on top of that, even if we don't go back to normal, your business must be able to facilitate the needs of the new normal, you know? And guess what? If it facilitates the needs of the new normal and we go back to normal and something happened, you're still covered, you know? So you have to look at it in that way. You have to be able to see the bigger picture, you know? Look for brighter days.
Of course. And I mean, and with stepping out of the comfort zone, remember, our small island, we have so many things that we can offer. We have CMOS. You can go into this whole CMOS business. You have, well, one of our sessions we did, Minister Dabrio spoke about bamboo. You have bamboo. You have all these different things you can use to be creative. You can go into arts and crafts. I mean, you can do flowers. You can do seasoning. There's so many different things that it is you can look at getting involved in, and not just thinking, you know what, I'm going to do a shop and I'm going to go into nails and hair and, you know, just a regular. You can go, there's so many things, so many different things. And a lot of things people think that I'm going to get rich fast. You don't have to start big. You can start very small. You can start maybe with let's say rearing dogs. Go into doing. You can say, okay, let me buy. I have 5 dogs and I'm going to rear it. Out of that 5, you have how much? 10 pups. You know, so you don't have to say, okay, I need a lot to start off because I need the money now. I mean, I think our caller said that. Not every day would be a good day. There are days some hairdressers go in and there's nothing going on for them, and that's another thing too. We are now in a new normal. You know, before where you have persons always coming into your business, right now you have to think of ways in which you can get out there.
Oh, yes.
So even if it is, let's say, I have a customer and they work at Grenlec, I can tell my customer, how about if it is you tell your workers, if you bring 2 persons, I give you a discount. Or, you know, you go to these places, you now have to look to go out to meet the people and not just sit for them to come, because you know what's happening now.
And also invest in portable equipment, so that I may be at home and I say, listen, I really didn't feel like coming and talking in that crowd today. And can you come home and do my hair?
I know of the barber in St. Paul's, he does that. You know, you call him, and especially for the elderly people, he goes out. So he goes to do their hair at home. They don't need to come to the shop. And again, and that is a reason for you to get a vehicle.
Of course.
I mean, that is a valid reason. You know, I operate a mobile shop, so I need a vehicle.
A vehicle.
So, you know, I mean, think about it. Sit down, think. if you don't even want to come to me, you could probably go to somebody, a family member, who talk your ideas out. You know, just speak, and you will get there. Someday you will get there.
Someday you'll get there. And I like that. Everything doesn't happen in just one sweep. There are stages, and once we understand that, then we would be less stressed.
Yes.
You know, some people look at a business as a way to make money now, but we have to look at it as a long-term investment.
Of course.
How are we going to, and you have to understand the reason why you're going into business as well. You know, am I going into business to make money right now? Then if that is the case, then maybe entrepreneurship is not the thing for you. Maybe you need a 9 to 5.
Exactly.
And at the end of the month, you collect a salary, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking for a long-term investment because it's something that you are passionate about, it's something that you want to do, it's something that you see there is a need for this in my community and I want to fulfill that need, you know, then that is the thing for me. If you're looking at just something to keep you active in your retirement, then that is something for you as well.
Yeah.
But you have to know the reason. And of course, as you said before, set goals, achievable goals,
Yes.
Achievable,
realistic,
yes,
achievable.
Because you'd hear some stories. Me, I want to become a millionaire by next year. So my business had to be XYZ and my price is going to be this, because if my price is this, then I'm making X amount of profit at the end of the month. Don't look at it in that way. The profit will come. I mean, you want to be able to make a profit. You want to be able to survive. But you ain't want to kill your customers to the point where somebody else with a smarter head than yours decides, okay, well,
do the same thing
I could do this and make that profit. And in the long term, I make X amount of money, and then they put you out of business.
Yes.
You know, so you have to be smart. You have to set realistic, achievable goals. And, of course, invest in yourself, people. Invest in yourselves. We can take a few more calls if you have any queries, any concerns that you may have concerning your business. As a lady before called, she wants to know what's available for her. What number can they call? Let's give them the number again, the email address again, so that they can reach out to you.
So the telephone number, it's 459-0773. And it's also WhatsApp friendly, so I mean, most persons use WhatsApp nonstop, so you can get me there as well. Once you use that number, you would get me directly. Our email, it's info@sbdf@gmail.com.
All right. We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Oh, yes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Where's the doc?
Oh, the doc is not here today.
Not here today. I guess as much as you get the doc scared, you know. You threw him run away?
Maybe. Maybe.
No, I listen to the conversation, and I like it. I've been listening for quite some time. But you got to the point that, as you see, when you tease me, I'm going to respond.
I know you can't help it sometimes.
Please, tell the lady, don't promote dog rearing. Please, don't do that. Because you see, we have too much dog. The last census which was done had more dogs than the population. We have an extreme problem with stray dogs. I know there's a lot of people who breed dogs, yes, and it's creating a problem for us with the filth on the street. And we're also promoting what you call sidewalk vending and people doing food and corn. So we don't want this to be in the air and people ingesting it. So don't promote that. And dogs carry, I think, 9 different types of venereal diseases, and it carries hepatitis B. I could tell you that. So don't promote that one.
Okay, I take that one off the table.
If you want to promote rabbit.
Yes. Well, yes, rabbits or cows or...
Yeah, no, cows. You mine a cow for 10 years. You spend $20,000 in taking care of the cow, and you cannot sell it for more than $1,500, $2,000.
Oh,
so I would say cow. I would say sheep.
Sheep.
Yes?
Yes.
Sheep is very easy to grow. It goes very fast. And you go sell one for $60 or one for $70 gives maybe. Goat, no. Because goat are the same thing. It takes a very, very long time to grow. And when they're full size, they might just be 10 pounds.
Okay.
So I will not say, I'll say sheep instead of goat. So you have to be very careful in promoting those areas. But what I'm suggesting, rather than, everybody trying to compete with themselves, where I take an idea, you take an idea, and the idea is the size of the population, then everybody waiting on everybody to buy, and everybody is the business people. I'm suggesting that a number of people come together, and that's how you make millionaires fast. A number of people come together, target a particular area, come together, 5, 10 of you, and market that, and do your business to get this group of people in which, and another group of people take another idea and do the same thing. It might be better than everybody taking an idea and becoming an entrepreneur or business person, and then eventually same customer is the same business person, and no one could buy because everybody waiting on the other to sell or to buy from them. So I want to leave that idea there. I'm not a businessman, but but I'm just giving these technical ideas because that is one of the things that is plaguing us here, where too much people is doing the same thing, or we want to turn the entire population into business people. And obviously, the customer is the same people, and nobody's selling because everybody's waiting on the other. We have to be technical in these areas.
Yeah.
Thank you. But move on with it. You have bright ideas, and I know you are the expert, but I'm just giving it one little piece of ammunition. I'm not charging you for that.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Yeah, and I think, Carla, that's why we talk about doing the market research, so that we don't end up in a situation where everybody is in the same business, as a caller said.
Exactly.
You're passing tongue and everybody's selling food, everybody's selling corn, and who really is the customer?
Exactly.
You don't want to end up in that situation. But they have always promoted the formation of cooperatives, and I support that. I think it would be a wonderful way to go for individuals to start a business. And with the formation of cooperatives, guess what? You get to employ other people.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it helps with taking care of the issue of too many people doing the same thing. Whereas you have 5 and 6 people on the side of the road selling movies, if all 5 of them come together and form a cooperative, then they can form one big business and employ people to work within that business where you get quality and standards. But we also have to look for ways in which we can improve our business, where we can take it to the next level. For example, I have this idea, and I wish somebody would do it so that I would feel good. I want to be able to go to a place where I could pay one amount of money to get my hair, my nails, my feet. I want to be able to drinking wine, watching whatever on TV, or involving myself in good conversation and just relaxing. Just somewhere I can go to de-stress. I can go and sit in a sauna or a steam room and come, just a holistic thing. I want to see that. I ain't fine. I see nobody do that yet. I would love to see something like that, because as an individual, I don't want to have to go and spend the whole day by the hairdresser, and then I have to go next day and spend by the thing. And then sometimes it's just a way for me to de-stress. So I go and I sit in the sauna, and I de-stress in the sauna. I come out from there and I get my nails done, I get my hair done, I get a facial, I get a massage, and I can pay one price and I can walk out the door and feel, like I've accomplished something for the whole day.
One-stop shop.
But things like that is what we have to start looking at, ways in which we can improve our business, making our business more appealing to the customer. It's not because we're providing a service and the people need that service that we don't just slap them with it and say, look, I go and I get my hair done. I'm satisfied with my hairstyle, but I feel like when I come out there, I could have accomplished more for that day, or I could have felt better, going by the hairdresser. We have to expand and look at ways in which we can make it more appealing to the people that we serve, and that's probably something that we have to start looking into, ways in which we can expand our businesses. And then, of course, the Small Business Development Fund is there. If you don't have the money, go to them, let them help you. And let's tell the people again, what are the requirements? What do you need? Of course, we know there's no age limit. So 60, 65, once you could make it, don't say because they say 60 and 65 and you're walking in wobbling, or somebody pushing you on a chair, and you find you want to come to apply for an agricultural loan and you ain't going to work no land. Let's not do that. Let us you want something to do in your little spare time because you are retired and you find you're good with this area or you're good with that area and you want to do it. It's a business and it's going to help inject funds into the economy, because remember, your business is not just to help inject funds into your pocket only, but it's also supposed to help the economy as well. Yeah. So once you can either provide funds to another individual by means of employment, or once you are spending, you don't want to make a whole set of money and then you put all the money in the bank and it's sitting there and we're not investing back into the country to help build the economy. But it's a cycle. You invest in the country while the country invests in you, and the money keeps flowing, and that's how it goes. So tell us again what the requirements are, what they need to do, and give us your closing statement, because we're out of time already.
So requirements would be 2 pieces of ID, proof of address, 2 reference letters, a business registration if it's already registered, a job letter or a pay slip if it is you're employed elsewhere, fishing recommendation letters from either fisheries officer or an extension officer from agriculture, valuation on vehicles, vessels if they're already built, insurance for both vessel and vehicle. Did I miss anything? I think I covered everything. Oh, invoices. If you have business records would go a long way. That should be it for requirements. Once again, my telephone number 459-0773. And closing remarks, y'all, the money is there. Let's use it. Just come, and not everybody will get through. It's not guaranteed everybody will get through, but we will try our best to help you. Even if you don't qualify, we can probably put you onto somebody else. There are lots of other programs that we can put you onto. There's the SIEP, there's GIDC, there's the YouthBiz program. So you may not succeed with one, but you can get through with another. Right. So thank you very much.
All right. And guys, we're going to end here for today. Remember, it is important for us to invest in ourselves. Don't look at what you're doing as a side job or a pankwai, but look at it as a business. Look at it as an investment for either you or your children or your ward, whoever it is that you live with. Somebody is saying that is a lot of requirements, but the requirements are not all of the requirements that she mentioned is not for everybody. So if you're not a fisherman, we don't expect you to bring in, insurance of your boat and so on, because you're not going to have that.
It's not a lot of requirements, because if you go to a commercial bank, you must present ID. Everybody has an ID. Mm-hmm. We must know where you live. Yeah. Right? If you don't have a utility bill, let's say you're renting or you're living at home with mommy or daddy, they can just give us a letter to say that you live at home with them. Right. So that's 2 off the list already. Reference letters. The reference letters are character references. Somebody must know you and feel comfortable enough to say, yes, I can write a letter on your behalf. Right. So that's off the list again. I'm purchasing goods from Bryden and Miners. You call Bryden, you say, look, I need a quote for 10 boxer cricks. Right. That's off your list. It's information that you're supposed to have remember, as I said, we're not doing this as a hobby.
It's a business.
It's a business. Yeah. So these are things that business owners already should have had in place, especially for your registrations and all these things. The other stuff, it's every day. Everybody has an ID. Everybody lives somewhere. So to me, it is not a lot of requirements, and not all the requirements pertain to every business. Yeah. Okay, guys, well, there you have it. We are out of time, but of course, in whatever you say and whatever you do, we ask that you be safe and you be secure. We always want to be talking with you, and we don't ever want to be talking about you. For those of you who normally join us at Telenolia, join us early tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting program. I'm sure Mr. Bola home prepping for it already, because he is ready and he is waiting. He has some things that he needs to get off his chest, and he plans to do that tomorrow. So guys, please tune in early tomorrow. Remember, we start at 10
10 o'clock. We finish at 11:45 to facilitate the playing of the National Report. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful rainy day, guys. See you tomorrow.
National Sustainable Development to be the focus of 2021 budget. Details to this and other stories in the National Report. With the details to the news for Friday 25th September 2020, I'm Delroy Lozan. Grenada's National Sustainable Development Plan 2020 to 2035 will be the anchor for the country's 2021 budget, which will be presented later this year. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, disclosed this on Wednesday when he addressed participants in a national consultation to garner public input for the 2021 budget. This year's budget presentation will focus on the theme towards Vision 2035, Recovery, Transformation and Resilience. Dr. Mitchell said the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic will also influence government's interventions going into 2021. As such, 3 strategic areas of focus have been identified: a robust and inclusive recovery, economic transformation, and resilience. Prior to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting economic fallout, Grenada was on track to record another year of significant economic growth. The Prime Minister said government needs to focus on getting the economy growing again and creating employment opportunities.
We need to look at the policies, projects, and programs with the greatest potential in this period that will drive the recovery forward. This will also cut across several areas, including agriculture, construction, manufacturing, tourism, education services, and ICT. We also need to look at the opportunities that have been created by the crisis and ensure that we seize those opportunities to boost the recovery. Government must deploy all of its policy tools to help support a strong recovery. This would likely include some new borrowings and aggressive external resource mobilization.
With regard to economic transformation, Dr. Mitchell said recovery must be robust and inclusive, with a focus on securing high human and social development.
We must continue to work on transforming our economy and in securing a high human and social development. We must continue to invest towards achieving a healthy population and a well-educated citizenry, taking into account the new realities ushered in by COVID-19. We must continue to work also towards empowering our poor and vulnerable, as well as disadvantaged groups in our society. And investing, of course, in our young people, protecting our children and empowering our women are also of very critical importance.
Resilience has become a key development watchword, and the Prime Minister restated government's commitment to building resilience to achieve environmental sustainability and security. Continuing the news, this year's CSEC results revealed several successes. Grenada's performance was better than the regional performance in all the pure sciences. One student received acceptable grades 1 to 3 in 18 subjects with 16 grade 1s, a first for Grenada, while 17 schools had overall pass rates of 80% or more, a significant improvement to 8 schools in 2019. Preliminary results of the May-June 2020 Caribbean Examinations Council Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examination (CSEC) were received on September 22, 2020 in Grenada. During a virtual press conference on Friday, Registrar of the Caribbean Examinations Council, Dr. Wayne Wesley, said overall there has been a slight increase in the performance of students when compared with previous years. The distribution of the level of acceptable grades, Dr. Wesley says, remains at the close margin across the period 2017 to 2020.
Note that this year, the performance is 93.25%, which is much higher, or which is higher than the previous 3 years in terms of the number of individuals receiving acceptable grades. In respect of CSET, the same result obtained, where when you look at 2020, 79.57% of those sitting the exams would have received acceptable grades, an increase over 2019, 2018, and 2017. So overall, the region would have registered an improved performance at 93 and 79% respectively for CAPE and CSET.
He said the onset of COVID-19 resulted in the move to apply a modified approach to the examination process, which included the moderation of SBAs and multiple choice papers.
CXC has always used the principle of moderation. Prior to 2020, moderation would have been done based on random sampling of about 30%. Utilizing the modified approach this year, it was agreed that 100% center moderation would take place for all subjects. That meant all SBAs were moderated. Kindly note that teacher score is not the final score, and the final score is obtained after the moderation process is completed.
Minister for Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information, Honorable Emlyn Pear, and the team at the ministry have congratulated all successful CSEC candidates. Minister Pear said she is grateful to God and all stakeholders for the outstanding performance of students in this year's examinations, especially given the situation with the COVID-19 pandemic. The ministry says it will host a press conference next week to discuss this year's results. You're watching the National Report. The news will continue in just a moment. Do stay with us.
Hi, welcome. The Grenada Tourism Authority would like to inform you about the tourism industry reopening protocols for the accommodation sector. This includes hotels, guest houses, apartments, villas, and cottages. All accommodation must adhere to the following general measures once reopened. We encourage a designation of a staff member to oversee health and safety practices and its implementation on every shift. Staff must be continuously educated about these protocols and should receive training in these areas. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, should be used, and hand sanitizing stations should be erected throughout the property. Greetings and guest interaction should be friendly but avoid physical contact. Social distancing measures should be put in place in common areas, and extra care is needed to keep all touchpoints clean and sanitized. Properties must also implement a visitor tracing system. We urge you to visit puregrenada.com to download the complete guide of all of these protocols, and includes a handy checklist for you to make sure that all measures are in place. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation as we prepare to welcome back our guests.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health has recorded an increase in the number of dengue cases in the last week, 52% being males. The Epidemiology Department is trying to determine the serotypes of dengue causing the outbreak. The virus is spread by the bite of Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, and the symptoms include fever, headaches, muscle, joint, and abdominal pains. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says they are concerned about the increase in the cases.
At present, we are experiencing a large spike in dengue cases. All right? We are presently experiencing a dengue outbreak. similar to what is occurring in other islands or sister islands, all right? Other islands such as St. Vincent, St. Lucia, all right? We're experiencing a spike in cases. At around this time of the year, we generally expect maybe less than 10 cases per week, because dengue is endemic here, meaning that you get a few cases every now and then, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, all right? But around this time, the long-term average is maybe around 7, all right? And as of last week, we recorded 29 cases.
Dr. Charles advises that there are methods to reduce the mosquito population and the spread of dengue.
Since there is no specific treatment for dengue, the most appropriate intervention is prevention. All right? So prevention is key. And there is one common point that must be remembered. If there is no mosquito, there is no dengue. All right? If there are no mosquitoes around you, if there are no mosquitoes to bite you, you will not get dengue. All efforts should be taken to get rid of the mosquito, all right, to ensure that the mosquito population is as minimal as possible or non-existent, all right, if at all possible. That involves a neighborhood effort, right? It involves not just one family cleaning their surroundings. It involves you and your neighbor.
And finally in the news, Parliamentary Representative for St. George Southeast, Honorable Gregory Bowen, received a signature mug from teacher in charge of the Library Pre-Primary School, Desiree Lackwell Peterkin, on Wednesday. According to the teacher, the goodwill gesture was to publicly recognize Honorable Bowen's continued support of the school. Minister Bowen's latest contribution to the institution was a shelf to be used in the art corner.
Mr. Bowen has always been a support to us whenever we need any assistance. He is always there willing to help us. And he always comes to the school and visits the children and makes sure that everything is going well with them. With that kind of support, our nation's children will go a long way, and today we'd like to say thank you to Mr. Bowen for his continuous support to the school and the development of the nation's children. We have had some challenges in terms of changing our classroom to fit the COVID-19 protocols, and we were left without some areas, some vital areas, and we needed to have our art area and house area. And immediately upon calling Mr. Bowen, he agreed to donate to us this shelf, which will be used for our art and house area. The children will really appreciate it.
The Honorable Bowen says the support given to the institution comes from a good place, and he is extremely delighted that the contributions that he has been making in his constituency have not gone unnoticed.
The words you have spoken really do go a long way. As a matter of fact, when you serve in public life, the best that you can get is a thank you from the persons, because you're serving from the heart. You want no material thing in return. It's just the appreciation and love and understanding that you have gone the extra mile to give for the children. And I want to say I will continue to do this in every school in my constituency, and from the national level, from the ministry level, with respect to repairs and other system. I do take this, my task, very seriously. So thank you very much for your appreciation and for your gesture. And you can express to the other teachers, to the parents, the little children may hardly understand that I do value this gesture that you have just made.
That story concludes the National Report for Friday, 25th September 2020. But before we leave, let's recap the headline. National Sustainable Development to be the focus of 2021 budget. That's all from us here at the newsroom. On behalf of all who made this newscast possible, I'm Delroy Louison, thanking you for joining us.